Hello everyone, Moran McKay here for part 8 of Vilja's questline. Let's chat with her and see if we can get those
You should
last
taste
two
my
ingredients
strawberry
out of
pie.
her.
It's absolutely delicious. The important thing about adventuring is that anything you don't know can kill you. On the other hand, practically anything you do know will kill you too. Look, I have been thinking. Tell me honestly, do you still want to help me?
Vilja, I'm your friend. Let me help.
Right. Well, I better take a deep breath then, 'cause this would be awkward. You remember I mentioned Runar, the Nord warrior I met in Vivek, who turned out to be married when I met him again in Cyrodiil. He told Melinda and I that his mother was an excellent alchemist, and that in her garden she had this very rare flower, lover's tears. Lover's tears is one of the two ingredients I'm missing. For Melinda's sake, I saw no other option than to write to Runar and ask for his help. He has now replied to my letter. He has the ingredient for me, but he wants to see me again. And from his tone, I understand that he thinks that I would be an easy catch for him. I loathe the guy. He betrayed his wife by courting me, and he betrayed me when he falsely promised me that we would marry. In his reply to my letter, he talks about how his wife doesn't understand him, and how he is looking forward to dining with me in candlelight. I suspect that if I meet him, he will not give me the lover's tears unless he managed to seduce me. I have been thinking back and forth on what to do, and then you offered to help me. Dare I ask you to go and see him? I have written a letter for him. You could give it to him, and then hopefully he will give you the lover's tear.
At least I can give it a try.
You would do that for me? Oh, thank you. Look, I am so very sorry that you have to go through all this for my sake. Yet, I'm so grateful. I'm going to give you 2 letters that you should give to Runar. One is the letter he sent me. It will prove that I have indeed sent you. The other one is a letter from me to him, where I ask him to give you the ingredients. Runar is right now staying at the Tiber Septim Hotel in Talos Plaza. You better hurry there, as he will soon go back home again. I will wait for you at the Merchant's Inn in the Merchant's District. Meet me there once you have talked to him. Oh, and one more thing. You may read the letters. In fact, I think you should do so.
Alright, well, let's take a look at these letters. The letter from Runar. Dear Vilja, my little sweetie, I received your letter. It was good, although a bit surprising to hear from you again. Yes, I do remember the lover's tears. This is a very rare plant grown in my mother's garden, and I now have a small plant in my home. I have some samples of the ingredient you need, and I am willing to give them to you. However, you cannot come to my home. First, I now live on the countryside, and you wouldn't be able to locate my home. Second, you must understand, I am unfortunately a married man, and after the incident When we last met, my shrewish wife wouldn't look kindly upon your presence. But there is another solution, Sweet Pea. Tomorrow I will be heading to the Imperial City in order to attend to some business. I will be staying at the Tiber Septim Hotel in the Talos Plaza for approximately a week. Come and see me, and I will have the ingredient for you. Maybe we can sit down, have supper together, and talk about old memories, hee. I would truly enjoy that. You, me, candlelight, and a bottle of good strong wine. You see, my wife doesn't really understand me. She's a cold, neurotic woman, not like you. Maybe we can still ride off into the sunset together. Runar. Maybe we should send that to his wife. Okay, here's the letter to Runar. And I just dropped it. Oh. Alright, dear Runar, thank you very much for your kind offer to give me a sample of Lover's Tears. I dearly need this ingredient to help my sister, and I hope you understand and accept that this is the only reason I have contacted you. I left Morrowind in desperation since I hadn't heard from you. I thought you loved me, like you said you did, and that something terrible had happened to you. Why else would you have chosen not to reply to my many letters? When it turned out that you had been lying to me, you already had a family in Cyrodiil, it almost broke my heart. I was saddened and disappointed and so angry with myself for being so blind and naive. I'm sorry, I don't want to have supper with you. I'm not interested in candlelight and good wine, or rather, I'm not interested in sharing that with you of all people. If your wife is a cold woman who doesn't understand you, I pity you for that. But dear Runar, it certainly isn't my problem. You and I will never ride off into the sunset. We will never explore Cyrodiil together, and as I had hoped. I did mourn you for a long time, or rather I mourned the false picture of you that I had fallen in love with. But recently a very true friend has shown me what loving and caring really is about. It's about helping each other, supporting each other, caring for each other. It's about giving without expecting something in return, and to know that you can completely trust someone, and that you wouldn't ever want to let this someone down. Dear Runar, I doubt you have experienced this kind of affection. I doubt that you will ever. It's called friendship, you see, and I doubt there is room for any such thing in your heart. I have now almost completed what I need to do in Cyrodiil, and I will most likely shortly return to Morrowind with the ingredients for my sister. Strange, for a long time I so much wished to return there, but felt that I couldn't, as I was so embarrassed and let everyone know how you had been treating me. Now that doesn't bother me at all, but I still don't want to return to Morrowind, as I would then lose what has become more precious to me here in Cyrodiil. The person who gives you this letter is someone I trust completely, and whom I wish you to give the ingredients. I thank you again for being kind enough to give me a sample of the Lover's Tears. I wish both you and your wife all the best for the future. Kind regards, Vilja. Alright, well, off to the Imperial City we go. I think I'll go alone and leave the other girls here. Alright, here we are at the Imperial City. Let's see what Runar has to say.
It's you. Hi.
Greetings to you.
Hi there.
Greetings.
Lover's Tears.
So you are a friend of Vilja's? I had expected her to be here in person.
I had never expected some bloke to show up in her place. Who are you? Her new boyfriend?
No, not exactly.
No, I wouldn't believe so. I can't imagine her getting over me so fast. You do know who I am, don't you? Runar, the love of her life.
You fooled her and she despises you.
She'll get over that. I'm married, so what? I'll give her a bunch of flowers, whisper some sweet things in her ear, and I'm sure she'll forgive me. Before you'll know, she'll be baking my favorite pie and polishing my armor, like any Nordlass would do for her man. Trust me, girls are all the same. In fact, they can get rather boring with all the little whims. Complaining just because a guy forget a couple of things, like writing to them for a few months, or telling them about their wife.
I have a letter from Vilja for you.
A love letter? Let me read it.
He wishes. Be my guest.
But what is this? A silly girl says she doesn't love me and doesn't want to see me. I bet she doesn't mean it. But, as I am a gentleman, I will of course keep my promise, even if she didn't show up in person, as I would have expected. Here, this is the ingredient she wants. By the way, this ingredient actually works as an aphrodisiac too. Put it in her drink and she will adore you. At least for a couple of hours. And that's as far as you will ever get with her. As I said, I'm the man in her life, married or not.
What do you think of Vilja?
Vilja? She's too naive for her own good. She never meant anything to me. Greetings.
They say that King Helseth has made an alliance with House
if
Jess.
I wasn't a knight,
Together
I
they
would
pick apart the
cut you
carcass
down
of
where you
ruin.
stand.
I've heard others say the same.
It is not surprising, considering more